Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Different Stages Radio. I'm your host, JJ, and we're broadcasting from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And on today's show, we have for you from upcoming Vancouver-based band, Kayas, who have a brand new album coming out on August 2nd called By the Moon and the Stars. Please welcome my guest, Devan Howes. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. Happy to have you here. This is awesome. So yeah, so you got a big record coming out on August 2nd, By the Moon and the Stars, which follows your
Yes.
2019 and 2020 releases,
Yep.
essentially. And
Yep.
yeah,
So this will be our first full-length album. We did like the EP, in 2019, and then the one single there. So this is kind of the first step onto like the full stage with the 10-track album. So that's pretty exciting. It's been a long time coming, but we're happy to finally have that all recorded and prepped up for release August 2nd. So that's going to be pretty sick.
and it feels real. Like this is actually happening,
Yeah,
an actual full length.
yeah,
That's what I was impressed
totally.
with when I was first seeing the promo come through. I'm like, oh, it's an actual album. The EP things, they're nice and convenient and relatively quick, I think, for bands to put together. But yeah, nothing like a full album, full 10-track album.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think a lot of people probably say it, but it's like when they go through the whole process of recording everything and getting to the end, and it's finally like, okay, it's awesome to have this whole thing done, and a lot of work went into it, and you don't really realize how much work that is until you actually do it. So that I think happy to have that done, and also I think made me kind of appreciate that for like other people writing music as well too, which you don't really realize sometimes. So yeah, happy to have this thing coming out like in the next couple of weeks here.
Excellent. And now, was this self-produced, or did you have a producer for this? Was it done at a home studio, or did you go somewhere to do this? Or
So for this one, we pretty much did all on our own. We did the drums at Echo Plant with David out in Port Coquitlam. So they're Port Coquitlam, Coquitlam, quite remember, but they're in like nearby in Vancouver here. And then we did all the guitars and stuff at home, just like in like DI'd it. And then we also did the vocals. My workplace actually has like a audio isolation kind of room that we use for some other stuff. So we got to do that in there, save a few dollars, and then we sent everything to a friend of ours, Victor Hugo Targino in Brazil. So our bass player is from Brazil, and he had a band there called War Curse, and this BH did all the mixing for his band. So we sent that to him, and he mixed and reamped everything. So the sound quality on this versus like the EP is just kind of a next step up, which is really, really nice to hear and like have that kind of like captured a lot better, I think. And I think everything kind of cuts through a lot better too, which is just great to have. And I hope people who are listening to it can kind of appreciate that.
well,
Yeah.
definitely, I noticed that right away when I'm listening to the album, the promo of it that I received, that it's definitely pro, definitely, you can definitely separate the tracks.
Mhm.
Not just the songs, but within each member's playing within each track. Like there's definite
Yeah.
definition, if maybe that's what I'm looking for. Like it's very defined, but doesn't seem mechanical. And it's like, no, this is on par with you know everything else that is indeed pro. So you should be very
Oh
pleased
yeah.
with the outcome of it.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
great to hear. I mean,
yeah,
because there's not a whole lot of people who have listened to it, so I think getting that feedback is amazing.
perfect.
And yeah, we're super happy with it. I mean, we released like the music video there, so that's kind of the first sample that other people would have, I guess, and we've had some good responses for that, so
And you're
that's been
singing
really cool.
Reflections in the Water.
Yeah, Reflections in the Water.
Yeah.
That's up on our YouTube channel and through Facebook and Instagram. You can get there too. And yeah, pretty.
Tell people about the video who haven't seen it yet, or who
Um.
want to ruin it. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or sorry, what did you say?
I'm just wondering if you want to tell people a bit about the video, or if you prefer not to ruin it for them, or just have them dive into the water,
Um,
the reflections in the water.
yeah, it's we filmed it just over in Maple Ridge actually. So it's kind of just like a pretty cool outdoor spot out there, kind of near Albion Park and Rocky Falls, I think that's what it's called. Our drummer used to live over there, so he kind of scoped everything out. So it's mostly just like scenery of the band playing, but the song is kind of a bit more about that sort of like harnessing that power when you're in nature, and kind of like those moments of silence, even though they're, everything's calm and peaceful, you just sort of have this kind of like power and like emotional like feeling inside of you that is just like, yeah, this is kind of where I'm supposed to be. So I think the kind of area that we filmed it really sort of captures that. Weston did like a whole lot of like walking around that area, so he kind of has that. And I think, yeah, we filmed it with Eric Gustafsson. He did an awesome job. He's kind of new to Vancouver in the last few years, and yeah, he's worked with us and a couple other local bands to do some awesome music video stuff. He does like metal and industrial, and yeah, he definitely killed it. That video, just I think to go along with the music, just feels really kind of professional to us. So it was awesome to like get that, like see that come back and just be like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. Like we're kind of just, it feels like it fits in with everything else, kind of like you were saying.
Yeah, like the
Which
perfect
is
little
cool.
promotional piece that really
Yeah,
gives the band a signature and identity, I guess. Is
yeah.
that? Yeah. So
So
for,
yeah.
so for people that are checking out this interview right now who have never heard of Kayas before,
Mhm.
what should people know that are like, who are you and what's the deal? Because there's definitely that Finnish sound. I don't want to ruin that, but I appreciate
Mhm.
you still, I can tell there's that influence there, and it's even been in the press, but you still make it your own, which I think is, you still add your own vibe. Like it's not just, but there's definitely that Finnish flavor.
Yeah, totally. I mean, my kind of favorite bands are like Kalma and Sifram, Winter Sun, like those just like melodic, like Finnish melodic death metal bands that we kind of all know from like the 90s, 2000s era. And that kind of was something that really resonated with me. And even like with Jess, our other guitar player, like she's into a lot of like Insomnium or like Bellacore. So like we're quite, yeah, a lot of melodic death stuff. And then some like Jess is into a bit more like black metal stuff. So like Black Anvil, or I don't know why I'm blanking on them, but like Mayhem and stuff like that. And that doesn't really come through in our music, I'd say, but um I think it's like that kind of like more melodic driven and a bit more like faster, as opposed to like more, to me there's sort of like two sort of genres of melodic death. There's one that's like mellow death,
Hmm.
which is more like chill and relax and more like I would say like Omnium Gatherum, or uh maybe sort of Swallow the Sun. They're not really mellow death, but that kind of thing. And then
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
like that kind of like more thrashy kind of
yeah.
melodic death of like Kalma, or like Norther too.
Yeah.
So I think for us it's kind of like trying to strike that right balance of like having those catchy riffs that are just like, oh okay, like this is kind of like really hooking you in the melodies, but trying to keep that kind of like energy up and that kind of like power in the music that just like makes you feel like you're standing like on the edge of a mountain, like overlooking like a whole sea of forests, and that kind of like, yeah, just that raw kind of
Conquered,
energy. Yes,
conquering,
totally.
totally conquering.
So yeah, so I think that's kind of what we try and like channel with our music, is that kind of power. And yeah, so just like kind of making people feel good and like happy, as opposed to just kind of doom and gloom, which is cool, but I think it's good to feel alive.
But not on August 2nd. We don't want doom on August 2nd.
No.
We want something a bit more glorious, even if it's a bit more brutal at the same time.
Yeah, totally.
There we go. So any show plans? Or is there maybe plans for an album release show or any regional shows you plan on doing?
Yeah, so we're planning to do album release show. That's going to be October 5th right now. So that's going to be downtown Vancouver at the Cobalt. And then we're also planning right now to do a trip out to Alberta and hit Calgary and Edmonton. We're kind of just finalizing that, but that should be in October, hopefully. So stay tuned for those dates. And then after that, we don't have anything like totally worked out right now, but I think we'd like to get out to Vancouver Island and then, I don't know, maybe venture to the States or go across the country, but we haven't totally worked that out. I mean, we all kind of have our own jobs, like professional jobs and stuff. So just trying to fit that in with everything is kind of not difficult, but take some planning. And I think also just once the album's out, it'd be interesting to see like who kind of resonates with it, and maybe that'll kind of direct us where we're headed.
Yeah, so across Canada might be feasible, maybe late winter, early spring, once the winter is kind of and you've had a chance to plan. But maybe it would be awesome if you're able to do some Washington dates, or maybe even get down to Portland area perhaps over winter, because at least that's an easy enough drive. And
it's
the winter
totally
to get some exposure, maybe get on some bill down there would be great.
Yeah, totally. It's a bit harder with like having to apply for the visas and stuff, which we haven't started to look into yet. But that would be, I think, something that we've talked about doing. So
it's a necessary evil if you want to make that jump.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
So that album release show, you're saying Cobalt October 2nd?
October 5th.
October 5th at the Cobalt, and that's going to be announced fairly soon, or is that an official announcement?
That's going to be announced pretty.
Is this brand new news?
It's pretty brand new.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't announced it yet. We're just kind of finalizing the lineup for that, but that should be coming out hopefully within a month or so.
Excellent. And I was happy to see that there's physical product. You have CDs coming out as well. It's not just a digital release. So that's exciting as well.
Yeah, so we've got a bunch of CDs on order. Those should be arriving pretty soon. Jess actually does like all the artwork for the band, so she did like the album cover and the booklet and the whole like CD, but then she also did the graphic design for like shirts and stuff too. So she does. It's really nice having her doing all that in the band, because you save a little bit of money doing your own artwork and stuff. And also her artwork is pretty awesome. Like the album cover, I think, turned out amazing. Basically, I guess like the album is more so like kind of just like about your sort of like calling or your voyage through life, and like how music is sort of there to kind of help you on your path and guide you. So that's kind of where the By the Moon and the Stars is kind of like when people are sailing on ships and traveling, they would rely like on the stars for directions. And then the artwork has like a swallow on it, which is sort of associated with like good omens from sailors, because they're sort of like a shorebird. So if you can see them flying in the air, that means you're probably close to land. And then there's kind of just like the compass, like compass star on there, and just a few little nods to that sort of like voyage. So Jess did an awesome job for that. We're doing like a pre-order through Bandcamp right now, so if you're interested, you can check us out. I think it's just Kayas on Bandcamp. You can look that up. So you can there's 2 different shirts and then the CD, and then you also can just like purchase like a digital download of the CD too. So that'll be pretty cool. yeah, just to have like official CDs now. I know for our last stuff, I was making all our own like little EP CDs, and we were selling those. But now it's a little bit of a step up, so that would be pretty cool.
Well, and hopefully those become super collectible items.
Yeah,
Like, oh, I got the self-produced, the homemade
yeah,
version of,
totally,
yeah.
totally.
Find those rarities. Cool. And I wanted to backtrack too. So you played Hyperspace Metal Festival this year, did you not?
Yep, yep. We opened up the festival
Yeah.
on
How
the
was that
first
experience?
day. Oh, that was awesome. I mean, that festival, that was actually the first time I'd ever went. I actually had tickets on like 2 of the previous years
Mm.
and wasn't able to make it just from just from it was usually on Easter, but so go home and see family. But yeah, like so many amazing bands, like just playing at the rickshaw, like being from Vancouver, playing at the rickshaw, that was really cool. There was actually quite a few people out on the first day for the first band, which was us, to see us. So that was amazing. I think that was probably one of the best shows we ever played too. Like we were just all sort of on point. But then I think it's really sweet too, just like having an actual like melodic metal festival. There's doesn't seem to be like a lot of like more like melodic or power things like in North America, really. Like it's more so a lot of like death metal and black metal is really popular right now, which is great. But it's cool to have that kind of like coming up like in Vancouver. And like I know the last few years, like Joey's been doing some really awesome stuff with some like really cool lineups. And like this year we had like Tyr and Aether Realm, and then like Dread Crew of Oddwood and Troll Fest. And yeah, like that was an awesome day. And yeah, we met some new friends there. Tymo, thrash metal band from Edmonton, Siren. Yeah, like honestly, that festival was so much fun. The whole weekend there was just like nonstop good times and just like amazing bands like Skeletor, and yeah. So
Opening
that
doors,
was
yeah, opening doors,
yeah,
making contacts, and
yeah.
just overall good experience. And you mentioned Joey. That's Joey from Journeyman Productions, who puts the
Mhm.
Hyperspace
Yep,
Metal Festival. This was the fifth one, and he does other shows locally around town. So there's a little plug for
yeah,
Journeyman Productions, who does
yeah.
a killer job with the Hyperspace Metal Festival. Now, so we got August 2nd. We want to hit that. So you have two singles. You have Reflections in the Water and Terminus. That's
Yep.
those are the two tracks to get everybody jacked. We mentioned that you
Mhm.
can go to the Kayas Bandcamp to pre-order not just the shirts, or sorry, the album, but there's also t-shirt bundles as
Yep.
well. We touched on, I'm just going through everything. We got the
Yeah.
close to announce CD release show at the Cobalt in Vancouver, October 5th. You have
Yep.
that finally right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just finalizing the lineup and details to follow. I think we're in pretty good shape now. Anything else you'd like to mention before we go?
Um,
Didn't mean to put you on
nope.
the spot.
No, nothing in particular. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think the response that we've had so far from people has been amazing. I think it's been a long time coming. So thank you for everybody for bearing with us over the long time that it's been taken to put this thing together. And we're super happy to finally be able to release this and share it with you guys. So thank you. And yeah, thanks to everyone who supported us along the way.
Hard work pays off, and I think it will for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, cool. Well,
All the
thanks.
best. Thank you, Devan Howes KAYAS on Different
Yeah.
Stages Radio.
Cheers.